Hi guys, my name is Kat and you are watching Plot and Plans. On today's episode we're going to be talking about surprise and subscription boxes and steps that you can take to ensure that you are purchasing a product that is right for you. Buying a subscription box can be super fun, and the surprise of not knowing exactly what's going to be inside can be very addictive. But you can also make a mistake and get something you absolutely won't use, or you can have expectations that are too high, leading to disappointment. In this video, I hope to walk you through a few key steps that I have learned to take when I purchase new subscription boxes, based off of my experience with previous purchases, in a way that will encourage you to take a chance and have some fun, but also to do so with the most likely outcome being that you will actually be happy with what you get. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, why do you want it? There are several different things that tend to be popular reasons for people to decide that they want to get a surprise box. The first reason that I can think of, at least with the current boxes that I'm subscribing to, is that you want to connect with a specific community online. Certain brands have boxes that come out either monthly or quarterly that curate specific products from their line that are exclusive or unique. And the people who get involved in those boxes will make videos and other social media postings about those products, sharing their experiences, and go around checking out other people's posts about those products, having fun seeing what various friends and fellow fans of those products' reactions were to the products that were held inside. The next reason that somebody might be interested is in order to get unique or exclusive items. Some boxes focus on giving their buyers items that they can't get through that company any other way, which can be a reward for customer loyalty and for taking a chance on the box, and which can really draw people into being interested in checking out what's inside. The next reason that somebody might decide to get a surprise box or subscription is to get a variety of items from a favorite brand or from a favorite theme or topic at a valued price, so that they feel like they're getting a really good deal. The last reason, of course, is the most general reason that people decide to get a box, and that is just to have a fun, exciting thing to look forward to in the mail that month. Something to brighten their day and to add a little bit of surprise and mystery to what can sometimes be a very repetitive cycle of events that we go through. The allure of having something arrive that you didn't hand pick and not exactly knowing what's in there can be similar in some ways to gambling, although when you're gambling on a surprise box, you're always going to hypothetically win as long as you take proper steps to make sure that you know in general what kind of experience you're going to be getting, because unlike going to a casino, you're actually getting things sent to you for your money, which makes it a really fun alternative. Now that we've determined reasons why people would want to get a subscription box, the next thing we have to think about is, what do you, as an individual, expect from it? This is something that's really key, and I don't think enough people sit down and really think about this when they buy them. It's not surprising, subscription box purchases can be an incredibly impulsive thing, and some people, because of the social aspect that I described, for example, might have a gotta have it all feeling to it, or some people might just really like the idea of being surprised. You have to think about what kind of buyer you are and what kind of expectations you have when you spend your money. Are you going to be upset if you buy something and you aren't getting the specific items that you want? Or do you have backup plans in case you get things that you don't need? I mean, these are really key questions to ask yourself when thinking about whether you would be an ideal candidate to purchase a surprise or subscription box. There are two key ways that I find most subscription and surprise boxes try to tempt customers into wanting to purchase them. The first is by showing a specific type of value that you will be getting by purchasing the products this way. For example, the Erin Condren Secret Surprise Box retails for $35 American and within the US has free shipping. It claims that its value is worth 60 American dollars. So you feel like you're getting a big savings by purchasing the box. from what I've looked at from her particular box, you definitely are. But, I mean, you have to really pay attention to each individual box and ensure that they are actually following through with what they are promising you. Once you know what kind of deal that you're being offered by a company, the other thing you have to really think about is what specifically do you expect from a box when you purchase it. For example, one of the boxes that I purchased in 2015 when I started buying subscription boxes was the arcade block from Nerdblock, which is a Canadian subscription company. And I purchased Arcade Block for almost a year, and I absolutely loved it. And the reason I loved it, and the reason that I ended up purchasing it for so long, was because every month, one of the items included in their box was a gaming-related t-shirt. I liked the fact that when I spent the 35 Canadian to purchase this particular box, that I would be able to be certain that I would be getting one new t-shirt every time the box came. I'm chubby, and getting cool designs on t-shirts when you're chubby can be very difficult. So getting neat, unique gamer-related t-shirts and getting a bunch of other cute things along with the t-shirt was extremely appealing. On the other hand, something like the Erin Condren Secret Surprise box does not necessarily have a guaranteed type of items. Now, Erin Condren is known for her stationery and for her life planner and the accessories that are related to that, and the vast majority of her products in the boxes that I have seen her release obviously relate to those. But unlike the arcade block that I was talking about, there isn't a specific item that you can count on each time that she sends out a box. That doesn't necessarily make her box inferior to the arcade block in its design, but it's an aspect of the box that somebody who is purchasing it should really consider and think about based off of their personality and the kind of experience that they're looking for. Now let's go through some tips that can help you make smart choices when deciding whether or not a specific box that you're interested in would be a valid purchase. The first thing that you can do, provided that the box has a history of any sort, is to go onto either Google or YouTube and look up either written or video reviews of previous boxes to get a feel for the kinds of content that box's curators are offering to their customers. It's really important to get a feel for what types of things the box is offering so that you can get an idea of whether or not you personally would be interested in the type of content that is contained inside. From there, the next step that you can do, provided that there is more than 1 month of content that has been sent out by the company in question, is that you can break down several boxes and get an idea of how much of the stuff in it that you would use or like versus how much of it is stuff that you don't use or like. You can also look for repeated patterns in the types of items that certain boxes release. Like, as I said, with the arcade block, I knew I was getting a t-shirt every month. And with the Erin Condren, a lot of times she releases a unique cover for the life planners. So that's pretty cool. But being aware of whether there are certain patterns in the types of items in the box that either you like or that annoy you can help you get a better feel for the kind of reaction you are potentially going to have opening one of those boxes up. The next key step is to have a plan of action that you're going to take if you get items that you don't like inside of a box, because there's a very high probability that there will be some items in your box that you just don't want. You don't want those things cluttering up your room or stacking up in the garage. Having a network that you can use to get those to people who will actually like them, either as gifts to family members who might genuinely enjoy the product, or by trading them online through things like Facebook groups, is a really good idea. Because you've got to realize when you sit down to order a subscription box, the box is not being designed by a personal shopper for you as an individual. The boxes that are generally made for subscription boxes are made for a target demographic that is much wider than one individual person. If you want specific items, or if you need specific things for a particular hobby or interest, you will be much better served going and selecting the items you need yourself. The next key thing that you need to think about is the fact that different boxes are curated in different ways. Some boxes, like the Erin Condren Secret Surprise Box, are curated with specific items that are generally either made for that particular box or that are sneak peeks of products that are going to be coming out on Erin Condren's website. Whereas other boxes, like a lot of gaming subscription boxes, have items that are generally things that companies had stock of in bulk, were able to get for a cheap price, and then are able to redistribute. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I've gotten some really nice items from some of the gaming boxes that I have received, but the purpose and intent is very different, and the way that the person receiving the box needs to evaluate the value of those items is very different. I have seen many ladies be somewhat upset with the Erin Condren box, wondering whether they were really getting the full value of their items. I've gone through each of those and done the math on them, and they generally do tend to be within the range that is described. But sometimes they are $1 or $3 off, and I think one of the key things to realize is that some of these items are exclusive, and as such, it is actually reasonable to somewhat consider that they might be placing a slight premium on those items. Finally, as an international buyer who is often purchasing boxes that come from the US, since I'm from Canada, I feel that I would be remiss if I didn't point out the fact that you should be aware of how much you're paying for shipping, how much your cost is going to be once the price is converted, how much you're going to be paying in taxes or customs, and generally what kind of a shipping experience that you're going to potentially have. This isn't a big deal for everybody. There are loads of people who live in the States who have a ton of options for boxes, and there are also boxes in other areas that people from those areas can actually order and enjoy. But it is definitely something worth considering if you are buying a box that is not from your home country or general area. Okay, now that we've gone over all the major tips, the last thing that I want to remind you guys is that regardless of what box you are interested in, and regardless of how excited you are, purchasing a surprise box or a subscription box is always something that comes with a certain level of risk. You cannot guarantee what's going to be inside of that box. You cannot control what's going to be inside of that box. And one of the key elements of any subscription or surprise box purchase is the fact that you are going to be surprised, which can be a good thing or a bad thing based off of your personality. If there are specific things that you need for your hobby, interest, or like lifestyle purchase that you're looking at getting, you're probably better off to actually select those yourself. A surprise box is not a substitute for getting the things you actually need for a specific hobby or interest in most situations. But if you would like to expand your interest, or if you would like to connect with the community, or if you just like being surprised, a subscription box or surprise box can be a super fun way to spice up your life, add something fun and interesting to look forward to in the mail. Thanks very much for watching this video. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. If you like this video, I would strongly suggest that you like and subscribe. If you want to know when I have new content out, I would also recommend that you click the little bell, because YouTube tends to like using that as an indicator of how interested you are. Anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next video. See you later.